Hello, okay, next tutorial. This look is something that's been requested so many times. I've actually lost count of this one completely. It's my next evil clown tutorial. Yeah. I've gone in the opposite direction to what I usually go in, so there's less blood. I went more of the mimey type style of look. I don't know if that comes across, especially with the eye, but yeah. I just thought I didn't really plan anything with this one. I just went straight ahead and did it. I made the wig work backwards. So yeah. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you want to see how to recreate this look as a last minute Halloween idea maybe, stay tuned. So I've already blocked my eyebrows out using spirit gum wax and spirit gum again. I'll speed things along. I'm not going to show you guys how to do it in this tutorial. Just check out one of my previous tutorials. I'll put one there just at the beginning teaching you how to block your eyebrows out. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take some regular masking tape and I'm going to cut it into strips just to the top of my eyebrow to just below my eye, that long. So now I've got a strip of tape. I've just took some tissue paper because that's what I've got to hand. I've cut it into a circle. You can use cotton wool. It's just basically anything to keep your eye closed, just so it's comfy. And that's the shape of my eye. Okay, so I'm just going to take this tape. I'm just going to stick it to the top of my eyebrow and just pull it all the way down so it keeps it in place. I just carried on sticking the tape down. Doesn't have to be in the edge because I'm going to blend that out with some liquid latex. But there we are. So that's my eye, nice and comfy. It's perfectly easy to blink and see. Well, my depth perception isn't great, but hey ho, it'll be okay. But yeah, so because the tissue underneath here is keeping my eye closed, it's perfectly comfortable and I won't have any trouble opening this eye because this eye doesn't open at all. Yeah, difficult to explain, but if you try holding one eye down, you see how easy it is to open the other eye. But if you try and keep one eye closed, it's more difficult. So yeah. Anyhoozle. So now I've got that down, I'm going to take some liquid latex and a sponge, and I'm going to apply that all around the area. So I take my liquid latex and I just dab it over the whole eye. The eyebrow is perfectly safe because, well, one, it's covered with tissue, but I've also covered it in latex, not in latex, in the spirit gum wax and spirit gum again, just in case I hadn't caught any of the hairs with latex, so it will stay in nicely. So what I'm doing is I'm putting the majority of liquid latex in the centre, but I'm tapering it out with the sponge so the edge is nice and thin. So I'm going to let that dry and then apply another coat and doing exactly the same thing. I might do this about 3 times, I think, 3 to 4 times. It needs to get to the point where when you look at it, you can't see the tape through it anymore. It needs to be that one solid colour. So when that's dry, I'm left with this. So a nice smooth area with no edges at all. You can feel your finger along it and there's no ridges. It just blends off into the skin. That's what we want. If you're not getting the smoothness, you can use like a single layer of tissue paper, soaked in with the latex, just to go on top, just to get it a bit smoother. Okay. So for the foundation, I'm going to be using my Snazaroo Clown White and about 2 parts of that to 1 part MAC Studio Fix Fluid in NC15. I always mix in a liquid foundation, just a small amount, with my white cream base because it makes it go on a lot smoother and I can buff it in a lot better. So I'm going to mix that together and apply it all over my face with a regular foundation brush. Just be careful when you do this part to pat it in rather than stroke it across, just so you don't lift up any of the latex edges. So just before it's about to dry, I'm going to take a big fluffy brush. I'm just going to use a kabuki brush because it's a lot easier. And I'm just going to lightly buff all of the makeup in. That'll get rid of any streak marks and it'll blend the edges off nicely. Just, again, be careful over the eye, just a dab rather than brush. I also went down my neck with the foundation as well, just because I think the costume stops about there, so it should be okay. And I'm going to set all of this in with some Grimaced translucent powder and with a powder brush, and I'm just going to literally press that all over this. So after I applied that, I brushed off the excess and here we are. So now I'm going to start on blacking out both of my eyes. So I was going to use a black Snazaroo watercolour, but then I thought I want to smoke it out, so then I thought, okay, so I have to use a black eyeshadow after that, and that's just going to get a bit silly, so I thought it'd be a lot easier just to use a cream black that I can blend. So I'm going to use a MAC fluid line in Black Track. I'm just going to apply this literally all over both my eyes, and I'm going to smoke it out. Hopefully I shouldn't have to use too much eyeshadow that way. I mean, I'm still going to use some eyeshadow, I think, but this will cut down that quite a bit and will make it a lot easier to blend. So I'm going to start tracing. I'm going to start on this side first, because this side's going to have the shape. This side's going to be more just blacked out with veins going up, I think. So I'm just going to trace out the shape that I want. So I'm going to start with the highest point. Yeah, about there. And then the lowest point, lower point there. Yeah, and I'm just going to colour my entire eyelid in this. So when you've got the rough shape that you want, and I've just coloured it in, I'm going to do exactly the same on the bottom half of my eye. Okay, so now I've done that, I'm just going to let that dry for a little bit longer. I know it's a cream, so it won't fully dry. That's the idea, so I can blend it out in a bit. But I'll let it just fall into place. So while it's doing that, I'm going to do the other eye. Now I'm not going to do the pattern, I'm just going to colour in pretty much the hollow of the eye. About this area here, just in the black. And I'm then going to take a medium fluffy brush and I'm just going to circle around the edge of this just to blend it outwards. Just to make this blending a little nicer, because it's a bit difficult to blend when you put anything on to liquid latex, but I'm going to take some MAC black eyeshadow and another fluffy brush and just help it along by applying the colour towards the edge and pulling it outwards. And I also went in the fluid line of my eye just to make that look a bit darker, using the MAC black track fluid line just in there. Yeah. So next I'm going to use something that's quite specialist. You don't have to use it because it's only because I don't know, I want this to be a UV type look, because I've recently bought a black light that shows up UV light, like a glow in the dark type effect. But I'm going to be using a UV palette by Crayolan. The idea is it will look like a regular eyeshadow. It'll just give you that hint of colour, but when you go under a UV light, say in a club, if you were to wear this out for Halloween, it would glow really bright. So you'd be like, wow. Yeah, that's the idea anyway, because when you put these on, they come up as a nice subtle effect. And because my wig's green, I'm going to be using this green cream colour here. Now, yeah, I've got the cream colour palette, not the watercolour palette, because as I said, I prefer creams because they blend nicer. So yeah, so I'm going to use this. I'm going to take a very small amount of it on a fluffy brush, and I'm going to apply it just to the edge of this shape here, just really, really, really gently. So I've got that nice hint. You can't really tell on the camera. You'll be able to see when the UV light's on at the end of the video, but I mean in person it looks a lot brighter. I mean, you can see the green, so it just ties in together really with the wig. So I've got that, and now I'm going to take just an end of a brush and I'm just going to really, really gently smoky out the black, not to the point where it covers the green, just a tiny, tiny bit, push it outwards. I just pulled out the edges of each of these just so they're a little bit longer. I didn't actually add any colour, I just used my blending brush and just pulled the colour outwards. Then comes the tricky bit. It's especially tricky because I'm only doing this with one eye, so things are looking a bit uneven to me, so it's going to look even worse with this. So what I'm doing is I'm taking a Collection 2000 Collection 2000 felt eyeliner pen. I love these so much. I use them in so many of my tutorials, and I'm going to use this because it's like great for fine lines. So the idea is I'm going to have really light veining coming off probably to about there, around this eye, tapering off. So it will literally be some lines like this. So you get the idea, just random squiggles coming off the eye, not going too far out on the face. So I'm just going to continue that all around the eye, not going too far out in the middle, otherwise it will join onto this pattern here. Just keep in mind, don't go further really than there. So next we've got the lips. So instead of doing what I usually do, which is the big smile and like blood and red and all that jazz, I'm going to use black and have a little smile. You'll see where I'm going with it. Hopefully it should look very mime-esque but still clowny. We'll see. So I'm going to take my Collection 2000 pen and I'm just going to start tracing on the shape of the lips that I want. So I want it to have a nice little flick at the end but be slightly pouty. So I coloured that in and with the eyeliner pen, and I just went over it with some Barry M lipstick in black, just to give it that shine. Okay, so it's got like a hint of a smile going on there. I just put some MAC lip gloss on top of that as well, just to make them look extra, extra shiny. I just think it looks nice. I'm then going to take some fake blood, because it wouldn't be an evil clown tutorial without fake blood, of course. If you want to learn how to make your own fake blood, check out my previous tutorial. I'll put the link there. That taught you how to make different kinds of blood for this. This would be my scratch blood because it's quite thick and it will stay in place. I'm just going to literally dab that over the eye just to give it that depth and shine. Just in the socket. Then I'm just going to do a tiny bit of contouring with just some black eyeshadow. I'm using the MAC black again. Just on the sides of my face, just to give me that little bit of gauntness to it, just to make me look a bit more bony. We'll do the temples as well. Just be careful not to blend it into the eyeshadow. And I'm going to put that in on my forehead as well, just in this kind of half moon shape. So this area here and here would be clear of colour. So this half moon shape here and here. And just because I want that neon colour to show up, I'm going to use the same Crayola neon UV green again. I'm just going to apply that all over these veins really lightly, and I think down the highlight of where I've contoured, so the outside edge, just really lightly. So you can't really tell it's there. You can from a hint of the colour, but you won't really see it until the UV light comes on. So the only thing now to do is apply my bright red nose, which you can get at most party shops, and of course my wig. Now, as usual, because in my past two Scary Clown tutorials, I've made the wigs from wool, so I thought I'd carry on the tradition. I've made a red one, a purple/blue one, so I thought the next colour in line would be green, so hence why the makeup in the green. It's not really showing up very well on camera, but it's like a bright neon green. You'll see from the photos in the end video. But yeah, so if you want to see how to make a woolen wig, check out one of my tutorials. I'll put the link there, just teaching you guys how to make this from scratch. So I finished the look off by applying just a basic clown costume I bought from, again, I think Argos, if you live in the UK, just a regular party shop would have, and most party shops have a clown outfit. Popped on some black gloves just to make it look, don't know, to tie it on with the black and just looks a bit weird. I've applied a top hat. You can't really see in this, but the top hat I actually made for my penguin tutorial for when I did Batman, but I never actually got around to using it, so I thought I'll be a clown with a top hat, like a ringleader. The actual red nose, it's up to you guys. I think it works with and without it. I mean, I wanted to use it because I've not actually used a proper red nose yet in any of my tutorials, so yeah. So that's what it looks like when it's on. So it still looks quite cool, I think. Yeah, I'll let you guys decide. You can use fake teeth if you want. I'll use my fake teeth in the exit video just because it's difficult to talk in, and yeah, but I don't know, with these lips you don't really need fake teeth. Yeah. And the contact lens is just a regular mesh white out contact lens, so I can still see through it okay. Just for it makes the eyes look a little bit, well, the eye look a bit deader, really. Yeah, and scarier. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you guys liked it. So if you like it, make sure to rate, comment, subscribe, the usual. And yeah, so I hope you guys have a wonderful Halloween. And until next time, bye.